morning. Welcome to Mobility Lab. This is your pre-recorded class for Sunday, June 7th, right? Yes, June 7th. So welcome. We are going to need a yoga block or a meditation cushion today, as well as another cushion to help us support us in our yin practice. So as always, we're going to be doing just a little bit of contemplating the theme for the month at first, and then we'll be doing a short meditation followed by about a 45-minute yin practice. So that's what we're in for this morning. It is the month of June. Our theme this month is non-attachment. So this we have defined as process orientation, or the attitude of being present to the process rather than being fixated on a future outcome. And this involves, again, recognizing that achieving any outcome is ultimately out of our control. That the only thing we can control is the process, and working with what we have at our disposal right here and right now. So today I'm going to invite us to really sit with this attitude of letting go. Letting go of the need to control the future, to predict the outcomes, to be constantly striving for another state that is different from this one and somehow better. This takes a lot of practice to turn into habit. So today, let's explore non-attachment through mindful performance. We can define that as the quality of presence that emerges when we let go of striving, and when we trust the journey and live the questions rather than seek the answers, as Rilke famously said. The questions being, can achievement be gained? Can it be replicated? What does it take to level up, to keep improving? So today, let's practice clearing away the conditioning, the habitual storytelling, so that presence can truly emerge, and training our minds to know that no striving is actually required. No striving is actually required. We can relax into being, replacing striving with trust, and getting out of our own way. So we're exploring some really important dichotomies or tensions within our minds and our bodies: outcome versus process, answers versus questions, perfection versus congruence or authenticity, and control versus trust. So those are the big questions we're going to be exploring and embodying today through our practice. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into our meditation posture. So grab your yoga block or your meditation cushion, and that is just to as I always say, to give a little bit of height underneath the sits bone so it can better support an upright spine. So, getting a little bit of height there. Settling into an upright posture. I am actually feeling like that's a little too high for me today. Always feeling free to adjust to what your body needs today. So take the height if it helps you. Don't take it if you're not feeling it this morning. Sometimes just sitting on the ground allows a little bit more grounding, a little more contact with the earth. So do what your body's feeling today. But do find your upright posture, settling into your seat, lengthening the spine upward, and allowing the eyes to softly close. And coming into stillness. Collecting the attention. First, I'll invite you to take a long, deep in-breath, filling the lungs, maybe extending the breath a little longer than you would normally. And allow the out-breath to be slow, so you can really feel the sensations of letting go. letting go. And again, a full deep in-breath. And a slow out-breath. Aware of the sensations of relaxing, of releasing, letting go. And again, inhaling, expanding, opening the breath. Holding perhaps for a moment at the top when you're full. And allowing the out-breath to be slow. Relaxing the full length of the body as you let go. Let go. Let go. And now, letting the breath resume its natural cycle. And take a moment to notice the degree of presence that is here. Perhaps a bit more here than it was at first. The senses awake. And an inner listening to what it's like to be here, right now. And listening to your heart. Checking into the state of your heart right now. It may have been a long while since you checked in with your heart. So ask yourself, how is my heart doing right now? You might notice a quality of openness, or perhaps protection, tenderness, or maybe grief, numbness, calm, soft. Just listen to and feel into your heart. Maybe even sense the longing of your heart. What is your aspiration? What brought you to this practice today? And now, intentionally relax into the obvious places of tension in your body. Tension, holding, gripping. We're going to scan through the body to assist with this. Let the brow be smooth. Let the eyes be soft. The brow and the eyes are often a great place of holding tension in our bodies. Take a moment to consciously smooth the brow. Soften the eyeballs. And now relax the root of the tongue. Allowing the tongue to drop away from the roof of the mouth. Or perhaps allowing just the tip of the tongue to press against the roof of the mouth as the root drops away. The jaw unhinged. Allowing the tiny muscles of the face to relax. And now smile into your heart space. Making room for what is there, expanding there. And soften the belly. This is often the seat of our fear, our worry, our striving. Allow it to be soft. And let this next breath be received in a softening belly. And now this one. And now this one. Untangle the threads. Melt here. Sensing the space and the aliveness deep in the torso. And let the hands rest in an effortless way. And see if you can soften them. See if you can feel them from the inside out. Receptive. Open to what is present. And now placing the awareness inside the legs, feeling the muscles there, down the legs, the shins, the calves, feeling the places of contact with the floor, and feeling inside the feet, tingling, vibrating, alive. And now opening the attention to sense the entire body as a field of aliveness, of sensation, all at once. Not opposing anything, not controlling, interested, open attention, aware of the dance of presence. And so today, just for the next hour, I'd like for you to imagine what it would be like to set aside worry, to set aside self-doubt, blame, striving, anything that clouds your view of yourself. And feel what it might be like to trust yourself. To trust that every choice that you've made has led you to this moment. And that within you lies the truth of who you are, the truth of what is possible. And that's not to say you won't make a mistake, but it does require a belief that if you do make a mistake, you will learn and grow from it. And you have all the tools at your disposal right now to take the next step, to make the next move, to level up your performance, to do the next right thing. And choose trust, and everything becomes possible. And so take another deep in-breath, filling the belly, filling the lungs, filling the heart space, expanding there. Slow out breath, relaxing and softening. Another inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, deep breath. Fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Softly open the eyes. This morning, as we begin our yin sequence, we're going to practice alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. So take your right hand and really use either the pinky and the thumb or the ring finger and the thumb. The ring finger and the thumb is hard for me, so I tend to use the pinky and the thumb. So we'll begin by exhaling. And then close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhaling through the left nostril. Closing the left nostril with the pinky, exhaling through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Close the right nostril. Exhale through the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. Close the left nostril and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close the right, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close the left, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. And close the right, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close the left, exhale through the right. And relax the hands down to the knees. Take a deep breath in. Air flooding in through both nostrils. Pause at the top of the breath. And then exhale gently, slowly release the breath. Now we're going to begin class today on our feet. So moving to our feet, we're going to begin in a standing forward fold. So feet flat on the mat, bowing forward. Allow the knees to be slightly bent and grab the opposite elbows. Standing evenly on all corners of the feet. Allow the head to be heavy. Allow the spine to be long. And just breathe. Soften the belly, soften the face. Now placing the hands on the mat, if you need to turn to the side of your mat to come into a standing straddle, find the side of your mat. Take a wide-legged stance, and then just fold. Shifting the weight so that the weight is mostly on the balls of the foot, the feet. Just continue to breathe there. A gentle inversion. On the next in-breath, plant the palms just below the nose and lengthen the spine. So inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen, pulsing the spine upward. Exhale to fold. Another inhale, undulating upward, lengthening the spine. And exhale to fold. And then on the next inhale, just begin to walk the feet back underneath the hips. And this time we will interlace the hands behind the back, lift the hands overhead so that we're opening the shoulders in our forward fold. Getting a little shoulder stretch to the front side of the shoulders. If it's too much to bring the hands overhead and that interlaced
posture, just allow them to rest on the low back. Take a deep breath in, feeling compression on the belly. Exhale, release the hands, and then gently move into a downward facing dog. So feet go back, hands move forward, lifting the sits bones. Hands are pressed firmly into the mat. Belly rises towards the spine. On the inhale, we'll lift up high on the toes, and then exhale, gently lower the heels. Inhale, lift up high on the toes. Exhale, lower the heels. And one more time. Inhale, lift up high. And exhale, lower the heels now. Just pausing here for a couple of breaths. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, lower the knees down to the earth, coming into a tabletop position. So knees are right underneath hips. Hands are right underneath shoulders. And then take a couple of cat-cow breaths from that position. So we'll inhale to lift the sits bones, lift the gaze, soften the belly, and then exhale, press to the earth, curl the spine upward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, press through the mat. Curl it up. Just move at your pace with your breath now. I seem to have lost my music. We will roll with it. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Soften the belly. Exhale, press through the mat. On the next inhale, find your neutral spine and bring that right foot forward so that the toes are in front of the hands on the outside of the right hand. And then inching the toes a little bit forward, come into a high dragon. So we're lifting up, taking our hands to our knees. If that is too intense, you need to use a block or some other form of support. You can always use a block to help support the lift in this high dragon. Bring the stretch to the front side of the left hip flexor. Maybe you feel sensation elsewhere in the right hamstring or inner thigh, the low back. Just breathe into sensation, settle into it. Let go of what's holding you. Softening deeper with each breath. On the next inhale, expand through the chest, expand through the heart space. And then exhale, take the palms to the mat, coming into our low dragon. So you can just rest on your palms here, or you can lower all the way down to your forearms, or forearms to a block or a pillow if you want some intermediate height. Turning the toes to face the same direction that the knee is moving in. pause here in dragon. Breathe. Technical difficulties continue, so we will continue to roll with it. Keep breathing in this low dragon. 30 more seconds here. Letting go of the tension. Letting go of the need to control the tension. Letting go of any idea that there shouldn't be tension. And on the next inhale, if you're on your forearms, take the palms to the mat and rise up. And then gently move the hips backwards to come out of the lunge, enough to tuck the right shin underneath the body and moving into pigeon. So this is where if you have a pillow, if you'd like to take some support under the right hip, if it's floating in space, just allows you to become slightly more passive in the posture. So inhale to lengthen the spine, getting a little back bend first, and then exhale to fold forward. Moving onto the forearms, or perhaps all the way down onto stacked palms. Resting here in pigeon. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. Just settling into this shape, settling into stillness, settling into the breath. And consciously releasing the brow, consciously releasing the eyeballs, softening the tongue, softening the jaw, softening the belly. What would it be like to trust that your body is exactly the shape that it needs to be today? To trust that the sensations that you feel are exactly what you need to feel today. Relaxing into the journey. Letting go. Holding here for 1 more minute. Just breathe. And take a deep inhale. On the exhale, take the palms to the mat, lift up once again.
If you've got support under your hip, remove the pillow, or whatever it is that's supporting you. Now tuck the back toes underneath.
And then gently press through the mat, bringing the right foot back, coming back into a downward facing dog. Maybe taking the feet as wide as the mat. Noticing asymmetry in the body. Noticing quality of the breath. Inhale, rise up high on the toes. And then exhale, lower the knees all the way to the mat, as wide as the mat, bringing the toes to touch. And shift all the way back. Find your child's pose. Forehead rests down, hands reach forward, relax, soften. And just breathe.
Let the belly be soft.
And deep inhale, expand the lungs, expand the belly, expand the heart. And on the exhale, walking the hands underneath the shoulders, rising back up, coming back to tabletop.
Shift the knees so that they're underneath the hips, hands underneath shoulders. Take a deep inhale and a little slow exhale. Let it go. Let it go. On the next inhale, bring the right foot forward so that the toes are just in front of the fingertips, and then just inch the foot a little bit further forward, coming into that high dragon on the second side now. So once again, if you need a block to help support you in this lifted dragon, grab that block to help you stay supported. Otherwise, take both hands to the knee. And just pausing here in dragon. This high dragon, chest is open, spine is long. There's 2 minutes here before we progress into low dragon. Feeling the opening of the right hip flexor. Other sensations creeping in, coming into that field of sensation, which is the whole body. And keep breathing. Noticing what's happening in your mind. Perhaps this feels challenging for you as it does for me. And just witness the activity of the mind as it responds to that challenge. What stories are trying to be told? I want to get out of this position, but I'm not good at this position. Whatever it is, let those stories that are not serving you go. And take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, taking the palms to the mat, shifting the block away so that if you don't need it, just set it out of the way. Lengthening the spine on the inhale, and if you'd like to deepen into a full fold, lowering down to forearms, either onto the mat or onto a block. And again, we'll pause here for 2 minutes into this progression.
reminder to keep the toes in the same direction that the knee is pointing. Noticing what's present for you right now. Sensations, resistance, stories. Untangle all of them. Let your body, let your mind melt. Taking on a liquid quality. Breathing here for just a few more seconds. And on an inhale, taking the palms to the mat, gently rise up and gently shift the hips backward once again, just enough to get to tuck the left shin underneath the body, moving into pigeon on the second side. Finding that pillow for support, tucking it under the hip if it's floating, lengthening the spine on the inhale. And gently folding down to forearms or stacked palms on the exhale. We'll be 3 minutes in pigeon. And for me, pigeon has always been the perfect training ground for non-attachment. Or really just forcing yourself or allowing yourself to be present with sensation and let go of the stories that come up. Let go of the expectations that you will be any different than you are right now. Trusting that this moment is exactly what it needs to be. Trusting yourself to be able to handle it. To be able to see it for the gift that it is. And using all of the tools at your disposal. Two minutes here. Reminder to soften the face. Reminder to soften the belly. Expanding on the inhale. Melting on the exhale. Just a few more seconds here. Breathe and soften. Take a deep inhale. On the exhale, take the palms underneath the shoulders, lift up. If you've got support under the hip, remove that now. Tuck the right toes underneath, and then shifting back, finding your downward facing dog, taking the feet as wide as the mat in your down dog. Take a couple of deep breaths, inhaling, softening the belly. Exhaling slowly, feeling into what it's like to let go of the breath. On the next inhale, rise up high on the toes. Exhale, lower the knees as wide as the mat. Bring the toes to touch. Shift all the way back. Second visit to child's pose. Forehead rests down, hands reach long. Soften. On the next inhale, draw the hands underneath the shoulders. Press through the mat, rise back up to tabletop, shifting the knees so that they're right under the hips, hands right under the shoulders. And take a couple of cat-cow breaths once again. Inhale to lift the gaze, soften the belly, lift the sits bones. Exhale, press through the mat, curl the spine upward. Inhale through cow. Exhale through cat. Take a couple more rounds at your pace. On the next inhale, neutralize the spine. And then begin to walk the hands out in front. We're moving into puppy dog pose or Anahatasana. Hips are going to stay right over the knees. Hands are reaching forward. Forehead is resting down on the mat. The chest, the heart is melting through the shoulders. So it's a shoulder opener, spine lengthener, melting the heart. And breathe. Opening our heart to trust. Opening our heart to have faith in the journey. What would it be like to trust yourself today? And take a deep inhale. On the exhale, lower the forearms down to the mat. Gently lower the hips forward, moving into Sphinxasana. So the elbows are right underneath the shoulders. The spine is lengthening upward. The feet are lengthening, or the legs are lengthening behind you. There should be no striving or tension or holding in the legs or low back. Simply lifting up through the spine, using just enough energy to hold the shape. Perhaps lower the chin below parallel so that the spine is completely neutral. And if it helps to rock the hips side to side to help that low back and glutes release, you can take a moment just to encourage release there. And then find a single point of focus for the gaze, maybe a couple feet in front of the fingertips, or just allow the eyes to close. Settling into stillness. I'm going to hold here for 2 minutes. And the sound of the rain on the roof. The sound of your breath as it enters and leaves the body. The feeling of compression on the belly as you inhale. And softening on the exhale. Staying present with sensation. All the senses awake. All the senses alive. And take a deep inhale. And on an exhale, gently lower down, stack one palm on top of the other, rest the forehead on the palms. Let it go. And take a deep inhale. And exhale, lift the forehead. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders once again. Next, we're going to move into a posture that's a little more yang than we normally do in our yin practice. A little more active posture. Provides a nice shoulder opener that we can then relax into as we come out of it. So tuck the toes underneath you. Maybe narrow the position of the legs. And then rising up onto the knees, begin to walk the toes forward. As we move into a posture called dolphin. It's a little bit like downward facing dog, but on the forearms. So we'll just pause for a minute here. Sits bones are lifted. Forearms and palms are making contact with the earth. On the next inhale, walk the toes back to a forearm plank and then lower the hips down. Stacking the palms once again. Rest the forehead down on the palms. Coming back into posture of total relaxation. If you'd like a variation of this posture, bring your elbows forward, take the palms to touch, and then bring the hands overhead as you rest the forehead down. This posture of full prostration and surrender. And deep reverence for this present moment. A deep inhale. And exhale, take the hands underneath the shoulders and just begin to roll onto your spine now. Coming onto your back, you're going to get a little counter pose to those back bends that we just did. So first, begin by drawing the knees up into the chest. Down just a little bit on my mat. Draw the knees in. Hug them into the chest, rock side to side, massage the sacrum, massage the low back. See if you can roll the spine to be completely in contact with the earth. So maybe lower the chin so that the neck begins to make contact with the mat. Roll the hips down so that the spine is fully in contact. And now lower the soles of the feet to the mat. We have a few options here. First option is to find your yoga block or your pillow and then inhale to lift up. Take that block right underneath the sacrum and then lift the feet right over the block. So a supported shoulder stand is the first option. You can also do this against the wall for more support. So that's your first option. Second option does not involve a block, so we'll set the block to the side. Second option is plow. So we'll take the palms of the hand to the mat. We'll begin to roll the knees overhead, lengthening the legs till the toes touch overhead, creating some traction in the spine. Some compression on the throat, the belly. Second option is plow. Third option is you can move from plow into snail. Just bending the knees, bringing the knees alongside the ears. Sits bones are lifted towards the sky. So whatever variation of this counter pose you'd like, moving into that space now. Just a few more seconds here. Keep breathing.
Soften the resistance, soften the tension. Stay with the sensation. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, begin to move out of your posture. If you've got a block under your spine, gently remove that. Draw the knees into the chest. Once again, rocking side to side. Gentle massage on the back. And then slowly extending the legs, taking the feet as wide as the mat, taking the hands, palm faces up alongside the body. Find your Shavasana. And gently settle into stillness.
This Shavasana, this final stillness of our yin practice is where it all comes together. Arguably the most important posture. So allow the weight of the body to melt into the floor beneath you. Allow your thoughts to soften and release. And deepen that internal gaze. Close the eyes and then close them again. Fully surrendering. Feeling all the points of contact between your body and the mat beneath you. Letting go of striving. Letting go of the need to control. Letting go of the need to do anything at all. And today I'll leave you with this final contemplation, this Rilke quote about living the question. And be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves. Like locked rooms and like books that are now written in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given to you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. And perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. Thank you for joining each other in Mobility Lab practice today. Be well, keep moving, and we'll see you next time.